The last thing we'd like to do in today's lesson is to take two fractions and come up with fractions that are equivalent to our original fractions that have the same common denominator. We want to turn 5/8 and 3/4 into fractions that have the same common denominator, and we want it to be the smallest common denominator that we can find. To do that, we look at our two fractions and we pick the bigger denominator, like the 8. I'm going to write it up here a minute so I can think about it. And we say to ourselves, could we turn 3/4 into, we already have 5/8, could we turn 3/4 into a fraction with a denominator of 8? Well, since 4 will go into 8, we can do that. So our least common denominator would be 8. So we take 3/4 and turn it into so many 8. We'd say 4 times 2 gives us 8, and 3 times 2 gives us 6. We multiply both parts of 3/4 by 2 to give us 6/8. So 5/8 stays the way it is, and 3/4 turned into 6/8. So we changed both of them to fractions that had the same common denominator, and we got the smallest common denominator that we could find. Let's look at another example. 5/6 and 4/9. So if we take the biggest denominator, 9, and decide if we can turn the 6 into a 9. Well, since 6 won't go into 9, we can't turn the 6 into 9. So we start taking multiples of 9. Let's try 9 times 2. That gives us 18. And we see if we can turn 6 into an 18 by multiplying it by something. Since 6 will go into 18 3 times, we could do that. So let's take 5/6 and turn it into 18. What we'd have to do is multiply 6 by 3 to get the 18, and multiply 5 by 3, and we come up with 15 18ths. So the 5/6 turned into 15 18ths, and then if we take the 4/9 and try to turn it into so many 18ths, 9 times 2 gives us 18, so we can multiply the 4 also by 2 and get 8. You have to multiply them both by the same number. So that makes 4/9 turn into 8 18ths. So our two fractions, we turned 5/6 into 15 18ths and 4/9 into 8 18ths. Okay, I have one more I want us to do here, and I wrote those really too close together. Let's look at the 2/3 and the 3/4 and write those with the same denominator. Again, I take the biggest denominator of 4 and see if I can divide the other denominator into it. I can't turn 3 into 4 by multiplying it by something. So let's try 4 times 2. That gives me 8. So let's see if I could use 8 as my denominator. Can I turn 3 into an 8 by multiplying it by something? No, 3 will not go into 8 anyway. So let's keep working with 4. And this time let's try 4 times 3. That gives us 12. So I want to see, can I turn 3 into 12 by multiplying 3 by something to give me 12? Yes, I can. I can multiply 3 by 4 and get 12. So my common denominator that I'm going to use is going to be 12. So I'm going to change 2/3 into so many 12ths, and I'm going to change 3/4 into so many 12ths. So let's come down here to the bottom and do that. Let's take 2/3 and change it into 12ths. To do that, I have to multiply 3 by 4. Whatever I multiply the 3 by, I've got to multiply the 2 by. So I'd end up with 8/12. So I can put 8/12 here because that's what I'm turning the 2/3 into. And then for the 3/4, I want to turn it into 12s. So I'd have to decide what do I have to multiply the 4 by here to get 12s. That would be 3. I multiply this one by 3, I have to multiply the numerator by 3 too to keep it equivalent. That would give me 9 12s. So 3 4s turned into 9 12s. So 2/3 and 3 4s could be turned into 8 12s and 9 12s. Now I'd like for you to do 2 practice problems. Write a fraction equivalent to 5/6 with a denominator of 24. And then I want you to take the 2 fractions, 3/8 and 7/10, and rewrite them as equivalent fractions with the least common denominator. The practice problem answers are 20 24s for the first one. For the second one, 15 40s and 28 40s. This concludes Take 9.